number is divisible by a whole number, that whole number is called a factor of the number. Another way to say this is when two numbers are multiplied together, they are factors of the product. So if I have two numbers multiplied together, A times B equals the product C, then A and B are both factors of C. Another way of looking at factors is that if a number is a factor of another number, that number is fully divisible by the factor. So if I have A times B equals C, so A and B are both factors of C, then C, my product, is fully divisible by A or by B. So if I divide C by B, there will be no remainder. It's fully divisible. Similarly, if I divide C by A, there will also be no remainder. It will be fully divisible. Let's take a look at a couple of examples to help us understand factors better. So our example tells us to find all the factors of 12. Finding all the factors of 12 means that we want to find all the numbers that can be multiplied by another whole number to give us the product of 12. Now keep in mind that all the factors of 12 are going to be less than or equal to 12. So let's take this one number at a time, looking at all the numbers less than or equal to 12. So let's start with 1, and we'll just go ahead and list each number less than or equal to 12, and we'll take a look at each one of them to see if they're factors of 12. So remember, in order for a number to be a factor, it needs to be able to be multiplied by another whole number so that the product of this number and the other whole number is equal to 12. So let's start by looking at the number 1. 1, I can multiply 1 times 12 in order to get 12. So 1 times 12 equals 12. I can multiply 1 by another whole number to get the product of 12. So that tells me that 1 is a factor of 12. So I'm just going to put a little dot right next to it. Actually, I'm going to circle it. I'm going to circle all the numbers that are factors of 12. Let's look at the number 2. Is there a number, a whole number, that I can multiply by 2 that will give me a product equal to 12? Yes, there is. I can multiply 2 times 6 to give me the product of 12. So that tells me that 2 is a factor of 12. What about 3? Is there a whole number that I can multiply 3 by to get the product of 12? Yes, there is. 3 times 4 equals 12. So that tells me that 3 is a factor of 12. Now I'm going to look at sort of the flip side of that multiplication that we just did, 3 times 4. And when I get to 4, I'm going to ask myself the same question. Is there a whole number that I can multiply 4 by to get the product of 12? And I know that the answer is yes, because I just saw right above that 3 times 4 equals 12. So I know that similarly, 4 times 3 equals 12. So yes, I can circle the 4. 4 is a factor of 12. Now what about 5? When I get to 5, I ask myself, is there any number that a whole number that I can multiply by 5 to get 12? And the answer is no. 5 times 2 equals 10, and the next whole number after that is 3, so 5 times 3 equals 15, and that's too high. So 5 is not a factor of 12. So I'll cross out the 5. Now I'm at 6. What number can I multiply by 6 to get the product of 12? I should rephrase that. What whole number can I multiply by 6 to get the product of 12? Well, similarly to this multiplication right here of 2 times 6, I can do 6 times 2 equals 12. So yes, 6 is a factor of 12. Now, in these next few numbers, I'm going to see that I can't use these as factors of 12 because there's no whole number that I can multiply by 7 to get 12. There's no whole number I can multiply by 8 to get 12. There's no whole number I can multiply times 9 to get a product of 12. Same with 10 and 11. There are no whole numbers that I can multiply by 7, 8, 9, 10, or 11 to get the product of 12. However, when I get to 12, the number itself, this is a factor of 12 because I can say 12 times 1 equals 12. So there is a whole number, the number 1, that I can multiply by 12 to get the product of 12. So 12 is a factor of 12. And this is always true. The number 1 and the number itself are always going to be factors of the number when you have a problem like this. So what I would do then for writing down my solution to this problem, or writing the answer to this question of finding all the factors of 12, or what are all the factors of 12, is that now I would list in order these numbers that we just circled in this problem. So the factors of 12 are 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, and 12. So let's put a big square around those so that we can see that we then would list in order the numbers that we circled as the factors of 12. We have just found all the factors of 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, and 12.